The PS1 and PS2 era produced some of the most collectible JRPGs ever made. This list covers 25 classics worth owning today, whether you're hunting rare physical copies or just want to know which games still hold up. Let's get into it.
So, Suikoden II is the game that shows you what happens when developers actually commit to a concept. You recruit 108 characters, not 5 party members with DLC costumes. 108 actual people with personalities, side quests, and roles in your headquarters. And that headquarters, it grows as you recruit. You watch this run-down castle transform into a thriving community because of your choices. Modern games love to talk about player-driven narratives, but Suikoden II just did it. Your best friend, Joey, becomes your enemy not because of some cheap twist, but because you're on opposite sides of a war where both sides have valid points. The game trusts you to handle political nuance and moral ambiguity without a morality meter telling you if you're being good or bad. And the combat? 6 party members, unite attacks that reward you for actually knowing your characters, and war battles that feel like actual strategy. No hand-holding tutorials that last 4 hours. You figure it out and it feels earned.
Number 2. Xenosaga Episode 3. Xenosaga Episode 3 is what happens when a studio says, "We're ending this trilogy and we're going out swinging." This game respects your intelligence in ways modern games simply don't. It references Nietzsche, Gnostic mysticism, and Jung, and it never once apologizes for it or dumbs it down. The break system in combat is brilliant. You're not just mashing buttons, you're strategically dismantling enemy defenses to create openings. Modern games copied this with stagger mechanics, but they made it simple. Xenosaga makes you work for it, and when you pull off a perfect break combo, it feels like you actually outsmarted the game. And Cosmos? She's a character with actual depth, not just a design for figurines. The relationship between her and Shion explores what it means to be human, and the game earns every emotional beat. No cheap manipulative music cues, just solid writing and patient storytelling. This game treats its players like adults who can handle complexity. Try finding that in a modern AAA JRPG.
Number 3. Valkyrie Profile. Valkyrie Profile understood something modern games forgot. Melancholy can be beautiful. You're not saving the world from some generic Dark Lord. You're Lenneth, a Valkyrie collecting the souls of warriors who died with honor so they can fight in Ragnarok. Every character you recruit has a death scene. You watch their final moments, understand who they were, and then you guide them to Valhalla. The time system is pure genius. You have 8 chapters, and every action costs periods. Do you explore that dungeon, train your Einhadra, or send them to Valhalla early for rewards? Modern games give you infinite time and quest markers. Valkyrie Profile makes time your most precious resource, and suddenly every decision matters. And the combat. Each face button controls a party member. You're creating real-time combos by timing button presses to juggle enemies. It's skill-based, it's satisfying, and it respects your ability to learn patterns. No auto battle option, no skip combat button. You're actually playing the game. The pixel art still looks gorgeous today. Meanwhile, early PS3 games look like melted plastic. Art direction beats polygon counts every single time.
Number 4. Shadow Hearts Covenant. Shadow Hearts Covenant is a masterclass in tone. It's set during World War I, features a vampire wrestler named Yakum, and somehow balances cosmic horror with laugh-out-loud comedy. Modern games are terrified of tonal shifts. Everything has to be consistent, safe, and focus-tested. Shadow Hearts just goes for it. The Judgment Ring is the innovation modern games need to study. Every action in battle, attacks, magic, items, requires you to stop a spinning needle in the right zone. Hit the strike area? Critical. Miss completely? You waste your turn. It turns every round of combat into an active skill check. You can't zone out, you can't auto-battle, you're present for every single fight, and it never gets old. And the customization?
You equip items that make the ring easier or harder, trading safety for power. It's risk-reward done right, letting you adjust difficulty on the fly based on your confidence. The setting is World War I with demons and magic, and the game treats it seriously while also letting you dress up as a cat. It's weird, it's ambitious, and it works. Modern games would sanitize this into nothing.
Number 5, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. Lunar proves that sometimes the magic isn't in reinventing the wheel, it's in perfecting it. This is a classic hero's journey. Boy dreams of being a dragon master, saves the world, gets the girl. But it's executed with so much heart and charm that it reminds you why we fell in love with JRPGs in the first place. The anime cutscenes still hold up because they're used sparingly and intentionally. Modern games dump exposition in cutscenes because they don't trust gameplay to tell the story. Lunar uses them as exclamation points, rewards for your progress that make big moments feel earned. Working Design's localization is full of personality. Characters talk like real people, not script generators. There's humor, there's warmth, and yeah, there are pop culture references that date it to the late 90s, but that gives it character. Modern localizations are so afraid of dating themselves that they sound generic. The combat is simple, but it works. Your position matters, you move around the battlefield. It's not revolutionary, but it's tactile and clear. You always know what's happening, and that clarity is something modern games with their particle effects and screen clutter have completely lost.
And number 6, Xenogears. Xenogears is messy. Disc 2 is famously unfinished, turning into a visual novel where characters narrate events instead of letting you play them. And you know what? It's still more ambitious and memorable than 90% of modern games because it has something to say. This game tackles organized religion, government control, reincarnation, and the nature of God. It doesn't use these themes as window dressing. They're fundamental to the story. The villain isn't evil for being evil. The conflict is philosophical, and the game trusts you to engage with it. The mech combat is fantastic. You input commands like a fighting game, building combos that cost fuel. It's strategic and satisfying. The on-foot combat is standard turn-based, but the death blow system rewards experimentation. Modern games tell you the optimal strategy. Xenogears lets you discover it. And despite Disc 2's issues, the story sticks the landing. The final confrontations are earned, the character arcs resolve, and you're left thinking about it for weeks. When's the last time a modern JRPG made you actually reflect on its themes after the credits rolled? Number 7, Kudelka. Kudelka is a survival horror RPG set in a haunted Welsh monastery in 1898. That premise alone is bolder than anything coming out today. It's slow, methodical, and oppressive in all the right ways. Modern games are terrified of making players uncomfortable. Kudelka leans into the dread. The combat is grid-based tactics with survival horror resource management. Ammo is limited, weapons degrade, you can't save everywhere. Every encounter is a calculated risk. Do you fight and waste resources, or avoid and risk getting cornered later? Modern games autosave every 30 seconds and fill your inventory with healing items. Kudelka makes you sweat. The voice acting is shockingly good for 1999. Characters talk like real people. There's naturalism here that most games still haven't achieved. The dialogue is sharp, performances are committed, and the chemistry between the three protagonists, a psychic, a priest, and an adventurer, actually works. It's deeply flawed, but it's flawed in interesting ways. It tried something different. Modern games are so polished, they're sterile. Give me rough edges with personality over sanded-down, focus-tested perfection any day.
Eternal Punishment features a cast of adults dealing with adult problems, and that alone makes it feel more mature than most modern games. Your protagonist is a journalist investigating rumors that become reality. The party includes a detective and other working professionals. They're not high schoolers saving the world between exams. The rumor system is brilliant. Spread a rumor and it becomes true. This mechanic makes you complicit in shaping reality, and the game explores the consequences. Modern Persona games have social links. Persona 2 had a system where your words literally changed the world. The demon negotiation is pure chaos. You talk to enemies, and based on their personality types, they might join you, get angry, or just leave. It's unpredictable and weird, and that unpredictability keeps you on your toes. Modern games have optimized all the randomness out. Everything is calculable, exploitable, safe. This game takes big swings: Nazis, Lovecraftian cults, personal identity, and the power of collective belief. It's heavy, and it doesn't apologize for it. Modern Persona is great, but it plays it safer. Eternal Punishment still feels dangerous. Number 9. Steambot Chronicles. Steambot Chronicles is the cozy game before that was a genre. You pilot a customizable steam-powered mech called a Trotmobile, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. Farm, race, fight in arenas, play concerts, trade stocks. The game just lets you vibe. The music system is genuinely impressive. You buy instruments, learn songs, and perform them in rhythm mini-games. People tip you based on your performance. It's this beautiful little economy where you can make a living as a street musician in your robot. When's the last time a modern game let you be that specific kind of weird? There's a morality system, but it's not binary. You can be a hero or join a gang of bandits, and the game respects both choices. The world reacts naturally. Modern games give you Paragon Renegade meters and moral choices with glowing blue and red options. Steambot just lets you make decisions and live with them. It's janky, it's niche, and it was a commercial failure, but it had a vision of what games could be: chill, open-ended, and trusting the player to make their own fun. That spirit is rare today.
Number 10. Radiata Stories. Radiata Stories has 175 recruitable characters who all live their lives on a 24-hour schedule. They wake up, go to work, eat meals, and sleep. You can follow them, learn their routines, and recruit them by meeting specific conditions. This is emergent storytelling done right. The world exists whether you're looking at it or not. The kicking mechanic is absurd and perfect. You can kick anything: furniture, objects, NPCs. Kick a knight in the middle of a conversation, and he'll challenge you to a duel. Kick a barrel, find an item. It's interactive comedy, and it makes the world feel tactile in ways modern games with their press X to interact prompts never achieve. The story splits into two major paths: human or non-human, and the choice fundamentally changes the game. Different recruits, different missions, different perspective on the war. Modern games give you dialogue choices that change a cutscene. Radiata Stories restructures the entire back half. Tri-Ace understood that player agency isn't about dialogue wheels, it's about systems that let you engage with the world on your terms. This game feels alive in ways modern open worlds, with all their graphical fidelity, simply don't.
11. Artonaliko Melody of Alemia. Artonaliko is fearless. It blends JRPG dungeon crawling with dating sim mechanics and wraps it in a story about diving into women's subconscious minds. Modern games would never have the guts to be this weird. The Cosmosphere is the heart of the game. You literally enter a character's psyche and help them work through trauma, insecurities, and personal issues. As you progress, they unlock more powerful song magic. It's character development as a gameplay mechanic, and it works because the writing commits fully. The combat is strategic. You have frontline fighters protecting the Ravitels, magic users, while they charge devastating songs. Position matters. Timing matters. You're actively managing threats while building up to screen-clearing magic attacks. It's active and rewarding. Yes, the game has fan service, but it also has genuine emotional depth. These aren't just anime girls, they're characters with agency, flaws, and arcs. The game explores intimacy, trust, and vulnerability in ways most games avoid entirely. Modern games are so concerned with being palatable that they sand off anything remotely controversial. Artonaliko just does its thing, and if you're willing to engage with it, there's real substance here.
Rogue Galaxy is a technical marvel.
0 loading screens on a PS2. You transition from exploration to combat seamlessly, and the frame rate barely dips. Level 5 pushed that hardware to its absolute limit, and the cel-shaded art style means it still looks gorgeous today. The combat is real-time action, but with depth. You're chaining combos, switching characters on the fly, and managing abilities. It's fast, responsive, and keeps you engaged in ways turn-based systems sometimes don't. Modern action RPGs are more refined, but few feel this kinetic and immediate. The Insectron system, basically Pokemon inside your JRPG, is a full side game. You catch bugs, level them, and compete in tournaments. It's completely optional, but it's robust enough that you could spend dozens of hours on it. Modern games make side content feel like filler. Rogue Galaxy makes it feel like love. And the revelation flow, unlocking abilities by equipping specific combinations of items, encourages experimentation. Modern games just give you skill trees. Rogue Galaxy makes you discover builds organically. Level 5 swung for the fences here, and even though it didn't become a massive hit, it showed what passion and technical wizardry could accomplish. That spirit feels rare in today's market.
Number 13, Dark Cloud II. Dark Cloud II's invention system is one of the coolest progression mechanics in any RPG. You take photos of objects, a fountain, a gear, a street lamp, and combine them to create new weapons and items. It turns observation into gameplay. Modern games have photo modes for screenshots. Dark Cloud II made photography a core mechanic. The Georama system lets you rebuild towns and cities from scratch. You're not just saving the world, you're literally reconstructing it piece by piece. And the choices you make in the past affect the future. It's time travel done right, with tangible consequences you can see. The dungeon crawling is procedurally generated, but it's balanced well. It stays fresh without feeling repetitive. The combat is real-time action with weapon upgrading systems that rival Monster Hunter in complexity. You're constantly managing durability, stats, and elemental attributes. And the fishing minigame? Legitimately great, not just a throwaway feature, a full-fledged fishing sim with competitions and rewards. Modern games have 1 or 2 strong systems. Dark Cloud II has like 8, and they all work together. It's ambitious, it's confident, and it respects the player's time by making every system meaningful.
14. Front Mission 3. Front Mission 3 simulated the internet in 1999. You could browse a fake network, read corporate websites, hack into systems, and uncover lore through BBS forums. This level of world building is something modern games with their codex entries and audio logs still struggle to match. Front Mission made you work for the story, and discovering a password that unlocked secret files felt like actual detective work. The tactical combat is deep. You're customizing mechs, wanzers, down to individual parts. Arms, legs, body, weapons. Each part affects stats differently. It's build crafting at its finest, and every mission lets you test your theories. The story branches based on a single early choice, giving you 2 completely different campaigns. Modern games pretend to have branching narratives, but usually just offer superficial differences. Front Mission 3 commits fully. Different allies, different enemies, different perspectives on the conflict. And the political intrigue? It's genuinely compelling. Corporate espionage, military coups, and international tensions? The writing treats you like an adult who can follow complex geopolitical plots. The remake coming out will update the visuals, but the original's gritty pixel art and UI design have a charm that's hard to replicate. Sometimes low-res is the right aesthetic choice.
15. The Legend of Dragoon. The Legend of Dragoon is Sony's attempt to compete with Final Fantasy, and while it didn't reach those heights, it has ideas modern games should steal. The addition system makes every basic attack an active skill check. You press X in rhythm with your character's strikes. Hit the timing perfectly and you deal more damage and build the Dragoon meter faster. It's simple, but it keeps you engaged in every single encounter. Modern games automate basic attacks. Legend of Dragoon makes them satisfying skill expressions. After hours of gameplay, nailing a perfect addition combo still feels good. The Dragoon transformations are earned power trips. You charge up through successful combat, transform into an armored Dragon Knight, and unleash devastating magic. It feels like a reward, not just a cooldown ability. The story's traditional, chosen heroes, ancient evil, save the world, but it's executed with sincerity. The cutscenes are gorgeous for the era, and the world building, especially the Wingly civilization and the Dragon campaign lore, is surprisingly deep. It's not perfect, the encounter rate is high, and some cutscenes drag, but it has heart, it has ambition, and it treats combat as something you participate in rather than something you watch. That philosophy deserves more love.
16. Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story is Yasumi Matsuno's masterpiece. Everything about this game oozes craftsmanship. The real-time combat has positioning, weapon affinity, and chaining mechanics that reward mastery. You're not just selecting attack from a menu, you're targeting body parts, managing break arts, and adapting to enemy types with different weapon loadouts. The weapon crafting is absurdly deep. You combine blades, grips, and gems to create weapons suited for specific enemy types. Undead, dragons, humans. Every boss requires you to think about your loadout. Modern games have damage numbers and elemental weaknesses. Vagrant Story makes you a blacksmith tactician. Alexander O. Smith's localization is Shakespearean. The dialogue is dense, archaic, and beautiful. Characters speak in verse, and it fits the gothic, oppressive atmosphere perfectly. Modern localizations prioritize clarity. Vagrant Story prioritizes artistry. And the dungeon design? Interconnected, labyrinthian, full of secrets. You're not following quest markers, you're exploring, getting lost, and finding your way. It's the Souls-like before Souls-likes existed. It's the only PS1 game to score a perfect 40 out of 40 from Famitsu, and it deserves it. This is a game made by people who cared about every single detail. That level of craftsmanship is increasingly rare.
17. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. Tactics Ogre established the template for isometric tactical RPGs, and modern games still haven't surpassed it. The story is Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones. Morally gray factions, war crimes, political betrayals, and no clear heroes. Your choices matter. Entire character rosters change based on your decisions. The class system is robust. You're not locked into roles. Characters can change classes, learn abilities, and you're constantly experimenting with party compositions. Modern SRPGs often limit customization to keep balance. Tactics Ogre trusts you to break the game if you're clever enough. The chariot system in the PSP version, and Reborn, lets you rewind turns, but it's not a crutch, it's a tool for experimentation. Made a mistake? Rewind and try a different approach. It respects your time while maintaining difficulty. And the branching narrative is real. The game doesn't just give you dialogue choices, it restructures entire chapters based on your actions. You can side with different factions, and the game respects each path with unique content. Modern Fire Emblem is great, but it's anime high school drama. Tactics Ogre is war, with all the moral complexity that entails. It doesn't shy away from the ugly parts of conflict, and that maturity is timeless.
Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 are Atlas at their most daring. Cannibalism as a core mechanic. Your party members transform into demons and devour enemies to gain power. It's visceral, it's uncomfortable, and the game commits fully to the horror of it. The press turn system is perfect. Exploit a weakness, gain extra turns. Get blocked or miss, lose turns. It's risk-reward at its purest, encouraging aggressive play while punishing carelessness. Modern Persona uses this system, but Digital Devil Saga refines it with the Mantra Grid, a customization tree that lets you build characters however you want. The atmosphere is oppressive. The junkyard is a purgatory of endless rain and tribal warfare. The color palette is muted grays and sickly greens. It's not a fun world. It's a nightmare you're fighting to escape. Modern games are afraid of being this bleak. Digital Devil Saga leans into the despair and earns its catharsis.
And the Hindu mythology woven throughout, it's respectful and integral to the story. Concepts of Atman, Brahman, and reincarnation aren't just flavor text, they're the thematic core. These games ask hard questions about identity, humanity, and survival. Modern JRPGs often play it safe with their themes. Digital Devil Saga goes for the throat.
19. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Nocturne is brutal, and it doesn't apologize. The world ends in the first 20 minutes. No build-up, no tutorial dungeon, just apocalypse. You're thrown into the vortex world, and you either adapt or you die. Modern games hold your hand for hours. Nocturne respects you enough to let you struggle. The press-turn system rewards knowledge and punishes arrogance. Every demon has weaknesses. Every boss will exploit yours. You need to think, adapt, and build proper teams. It's hard, but it's fair. When you finally beat a boss that walled you for hours, it feels earned. The Magatama system is evolution through suffering. You equip parasites that grant abilities, but also inflict status effects. Growth hurts. That thematic consistency, power through pain, is woven into every system. And the featuring Dante from Devil May Cry thing? It's absurd, but it works. Dante fits the tone. He's cocky chaos in a world of philosophical nihilism. The Raidu version is fine, but Dante's energy is iconic. Nocturne doesn't care about being likable. It's harsh, alien, and philosophically dense. Modern SMT games are more accessible, which is great, but Nocturne's uncompromising vision is something special.
Number 20. Wild Arms 3. Wild Arms 3's cel-shaded aesthetic has aged beautifully. It's a Weird West. Cowboys, demons, ancient technology, and desolate deserts. The art style is timeless, and the world feels vast and lonely in all the right ways. The Force system gives every character unique abilities tied to their force gauge. You build it through combat and spend it on powerful skills. It's resource management that keeps fights strategic. Modern games give you cooldown timers. Wild Arms 3 makes you earn your big moves. The Migrant Seal system is brilliant. When you're over-leveled for an area, the game lets you seal away random encounters entirely. You still get experience from bosses, but you skip the grind. Modern games should steal this. Respecting player time is good design. The puzzles are actually challenging. You use tools, bombs, grappling hooks, ice blocks to solve environmental puzzles that require thought. Modern games highlight interactable objects and tell you the solution. Wild Arms 3 makes you experiment. And the Guardian summons? They're earned through side quests, not just story progression. Finding and unlocking them feels like discovery, not obligation. This game understood that pacing matters. It respects your intelligence and your time. That balance is something modern games struggle with.
21. Tales of the Abyss. Tales of the Abyss has the best character development arc in the series. Luke starts as an insufferable, spoiled brat, and the game knows it. The turning point, where he's forced to confront the consequences of his ignorance, is devastating. Modern games are afraid to make protagonists genuinely unlikable. Abyss commits to it, and Luke's growth is earned through suffering. The real-time combat is peak Tales. Free run, arts combos, multiplayer support. It's fast, flashy, and strategic. You're not just mashing buttons, you're managing spacing, interrupting enemy casts, and coordinating with AI or human partners. Modern Tales games are more refined, but Abyss has this kinetic energy that's hard to replicate. The Field of Phonon's system adds tactical depth. Casting spells create elemental fields on the battlefield. Casting another spell of the same element in that field upgrades it. You're rewarded for positioning and planning, not just spamming the strongest move. And the story tackles heavy themes: identity, determinism, the cost of prophecy. It's not afraid to get dark. Characters die. Sacrifices matter. Modern Tales games are great, but they often pull their punches. Abyss goes for the gut. The load times on PS2 are rough, but that's a technical issue, not a design flaw.
The game itself is brilliant.
22. Grandia. Grandia captures pure adventure. Justin just wants to explore the world, and that childlike wonder is infectious. No chosen one prophecy, no ancient evil awakening, just a kid with dreams and the courage to chase them. Modern games are so obsessed with epic stakes that they forget smaller personal stories can be just as powerful. The IP gauge combat system is genius. Every character and enemy moves along a timeline. You can see when actions resolve. Timing attacks lets you cancel enemy moves, pushing them back and preventing their turns. It's visual, strategic, and satisfying. You're not just selecting commands, you're actively controlling the flow of battle. The moment when the party crosses the end of the world and the camera pulls back to reveal a massive new continent, that's the sense of discovery modern games with their map markers and fast travel have lost. Grandia makes you feel like an explorer. The character interactions are wholesome. Justin and his childhood friend Sue, the companions they meet along the way, they all feel like real friends on a real journey. Modern games give you party members with tragic backstories. Grandia gives you people who just like hanging out. It's earnest, optimistic, and full of heart. That sincerity is rare in gaming today, and it's exactly what makes Grandia timeless.
23. Breath of Fire 4. Breath of Fire 4 is a masterclass in sprite work. Character animations are fluid, detailed, and expressive. The backgrounds blend 2D and 3D beautifully, creating depth without sacrificing the hand-drawn aesthetic. This game looks better than most modern pixel art games because Capcom's artists were at the peak of their craft. The dual protagonist structure is brilliant. You play as Ryu, the hero, but you also control Fo Lu, the ancient emperor and eventual antagonist. You see both sides of the conflict. You understand why Fo Lu becomes the villain. Modern games talk about morally gray stories. Breath of Fire 4 shows you one. The Dragon Gene system lets you combine different dragon forms for unique transformations. You're experimenting, discovering new combinations, and adapting to situations. It's customization that feels organic, not menu-driven. And the Fairy Village minigame? You build a town, manage resources, and help fairies develop skills. It's completely optional, but it's deep enough to lose hours in. Modern games make side content feel like checklists. Breath of Fire 4 makes it feel like part of the world. The game doesn't rush, it lets moments breathe. Cutscenes linger on character expressions. Battles have weight. That pacing, that confidence to be patient is something modern games, with their constant action and dopamine hits, have forgotten.
Number 24. Odin Sphere. Odin Sphere is a moving storybook. Vanillaware's hand-drawn art is stunning. Every frame could be a painting. The character designs, the environments, the animations, it's art direction at its absolute peak. Modern games have higher resolutions, but few have this much artistry. The narrative structure is genius. 5 protagonists, 5 overlapping stories, each revealing new perspectives on the same events. You're not just playing through chapters, you're uncovering a tapestry. Modern games with multiple protagonists often feel gimmicky. Odin Sphere makes it essential to understanding the full story. The combat is side-scrolling beat-em-up action with RPG depth. You're juggling combos, managing POW, your skill resource, and planting seeds to grow food mid-battle. It's frantic, strategic, and deeply satisfying. Yes, the PS2 version has frame rate issues during intense fights, but that's part of the experience. Vanillaware pushed the hardware beyond its limits because they refused to compromise their vision. The PS4 remaster, Leifthrazir, fixes this, but the original is a beautiful, flawed testament to ambition. This game is Shakespearean tragedy meets Norse mythology meets fairy tale, and it commits fully to its operatic tone. Modern games are afraid to be this earnest, this grand. Odin Sphere swings for the fences and connects.
Number 25. Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve is cyberpunk body horror in a JRPG, and it's wild that Square made this. It's set in modern-day New York during Christmas.
Your protagonist, Aya Brea, is a cop fighting mitochondria-based mutations. This is as far from fantasy as you can get, and that's what makes it special. The combat is hybrid genius. You move freely in 3D space like Resident Evil, but attacks use an ATB gauge. You're positioning, dodging, and timing attacks all at once. It's real-time action RPG combat before that was standard, and it holds up. The PE, Parasite Energy System, is your magic, and it's biological, not mystical. You're using mutated cellular abilities. It's grounded sci-fi horror, and the game commits to the weirdness fully. The cutscenes showing the Statue of Liberty, Times Square, Carnegie Hall were peak Square production values. They made New York feel cinematic in ways games rarely achieved at the time. And it's short. You can finish it in 10-12 hours. Modern games pad content to justify $70 price tags. Parasite Eve tells a complete story, doesn't overstay its welcome, and respects your time. This game is proof that Square, at their peak, could make anything work. They took a Japanese sci-fi novel, turned it into an action RPG set in New York, and made it a hit. That creative fearlessness is what the PS1 PS2 era was all about.
So there you go. 25 games that prove graphics aren't everything, that polish can't replace vision, and that sometimes the best games are the ones that take risks. Modern JRPGs are great, don't get me wrong, but these classics remind us what the genre is capable of when developers trust their players and commit to their ideas. If you haven't played these, do yourself a favor. If you have, maybe it's time for a replay. Either way, these games aren't just nostalgia. They're proof that great design is timeless.